What's up everybody, how's it going? It's Burke, aka Dansweight here, and welcome back to another premiere episode of the Final Fantasy X Masters mod by Karifean. Please remember to hit the like button and show the video some love, and I hope you guys have plenty of fun in the chat. Let's get going with this week's episode. Quick pockets is just a really valuable skill. It can save your ass, depending on the situation. But it just costs so much MP that I'm never too sure. So I think I'll start with teaching double cast to Yuna, kind of ahead of time. Yes, she's working towards there, but I'd rather just have it now. I'm not sure what other ones I would even really want here. Maybe Auron having quick pockets isn't the worst idea in the world, because if he's going to be Sentinel guy and there's a chance that he's the only one that tanks something, for someone as slow as him to kind of get a quick pockets in, maybe it's useful. I think I want to use a second one on him. And it gives him a chance to actually move down to this part of the grid and get himself some agility if he wants. So now we have 4 characters who can use quick pockets. And so I think I'll leave the final... Actually, I totally forgot that you can put someone with a use as well. Now, honestly, I haven't been using use as much, and I already have 2 characters that have it. Obviously, because of the whole finite resources problem, I'm kind of like trying not to use items as much. But I'm going to sit on this final one. I'm not going to use it, and we'll kind of see how we go from there. What is this? Dispel. Yeah, it could be useful for sure. So we'll keep moving. Question is, which path should we take for Yuna? I feel like Ultima might be interesting. I kind of want to do Ultima. Is this a +4? +2. Yeah, I'm going to teach Yuna Ultima. Why not? I think actually what I can do is have a quick look at the old tick speed chart and see if 2 more agility moves her up a thing here. Yeah, you need to get to 44 agility to get to the next level. Whoops. Is there a +4 in here? +4, +4. So yeah, I think since that's a +4 anyway, we're just going to keep moving. Just benefit from these. Will help my Aeons out at least. Auron. I still think I need at least one character that's like a strength powerhouse. I feel like Auron can still continue to make gains in strength. Yes, he's slow, but obviously can't have everything. And if I ever want to, I can move him to where Quick Pockets was, so that I can start to get him some more agility. So it could be an option for sure. Riku. Yeah, strength is just so low that there's no point. We're going to keep it moving here. Do we have a return left? Yeah, I'm going to keep that return sphere in hand as well at this stage. We're not exactly getting like super stuck, so I think we can keep going. Okay, so I think after each Dark Aeon I'm going to put a fresh save. And we're just going to move on to the next one. And again, I think I'm going to see how long I can get away with not customizing anything new. Let's head towards Ifrit.
They're counting on you, kid.
But you guys have already started to see the virtue of break damage limit plus demi. It's one of those where I almost can't believe it's allowed. But Karifean's thought everything through like so well that like he knows what he's doing, and if he still believes that like double cast demi and all that kind of stuff, break damage limit, demi fury plus break damage limit, if all of that stuff is just like he obviously knows about all of that and he's letting it happen, then that's what he's going to do. And so I'm going to do my best to utilize those kind of things if necessary. I don't think there's such thing as like kind of a broken strat as much, because I feel like it's any kind of broken strat that you can come up with. I think in many cases, especially at this stage, I think Karifean would have already thought of it. I'm sure there's some things he didn't foresee, like certain things, that, like ways in which players have played and things that they've done that he thought, oh crap, like I need to kind of figure that out. Like for example, obviously the whole Seymour Flux thing and people finding ways to overdrive spam and that kind of thing to avoid total annihilation. All of that kind of business I get, but something as basically simple as, oh, let's just use demi on a boss since demi works now. Like I'm sure he's figured that out, so I will definitely use it and abuse it to to get the job done if it's gonna make the difference, which so far at least is already looking incredibly powerful and useful. I mean, it makes stuff like, again, I'm thinking ahead to stuff like, yeah, like the higher obviously the HP is, like the Demi Fury could end up being one of the most effective overdrives in the entire game, just like pure damage. Because obviously we don't have attack reels anymore, so yeah, we shall see it in action a few more times, I'm sure. Now, Ifrit, I think, is going to be a bit of a different beast. Obviously, he loves to counterattack and that kind of thing, so we'll see. Okay, let's get set up. Again, I'm not really going to change anything that I have at this point. Yes, we can do that. I mean, why not? Because I think this is probably where the autosave comes back from. We still basically kind of have like nothing for Riku. But I'll hold on to stuff as much as I can here. Unless I do want to give Riku an auto haste. Yeah, so we have like Sanity Preserver, Energy Preserver. So we could do like Energy Preserver, Sanity Preserver. If we end up getting Life Preserver later, we can do that, and then Auto Haste, for example. So we can get 2 more Auto Haste now. So definitely a consideration. I'm not going to, again, like go for that one just yet, because we still only get 2 goes at it, and this time it truly might be the last opportunity. I mean, I can't see any more Chocobo wings getting given out, so definitely use it sparingly. But I think for now we're on track. Like Mega Phoenix, all of this kind of stuff, I don't think we kind of need. I should have visited the airship first, honestly, and got some more Albed potions. I think that was a bit of a mistake. But we'll just go in with 14 and we'll see what we can do. I think I'll start with the slow guys and just haste them up and kind of see how we go. Okay. Because Ifrit is generally not known for speed, so we'll have to see how well that goes. Then we're going to have to do a lot more, like we're going to take much heavier damage, I feel. Yeah, Dark Ifrit just looks so badass. I think like vanilla design compared to dark design, I think like Ifrit's one of the coolest for sure. Wow, 2 turns there. Interesting. Okay. We're gonna have to let it get first blood here. Okay. Fine. Oren took that like an absolute champ. Now we're gonna have to scan here. Like it's just silly to not try and scan at least all of them. Here we go. Yes, it worked. Okay. Ooh, 600,000. Yeah, we're really starting to up the ante here. Uses fire up when reaching half overdrive, unleashing the beast. His claw break stances and is unevadable when he's berserked. That's an interesting one. Okay. So if berserked, unevadable. Question is, can we put darkness on him? No, we can't. So fair enough. Doesn't have a lot of immunity, so we've got breaks, poison, but we don't know what fire up's going to do out, like unleashing the beast. We don't know if that's going to heal like all breaks, it's going to heal all debuffs, statuses, whatever it might be. Not immune to slow, so it's part, like I kind of thought to myself, Waka has a slow strike, and the next Aeon we're likely to face is Ifrit. He's going to assume most people are going to go to Ifrit, and this guy is not immune to slow, which is pretty interesting. Not immune to zombie once again. What else? I think most of the useful stuff that we can put I've noted down at this stage. Poison, slow, silent, zombie. I guess delay, technically. Okay. Yikes! That's a very, very powerful Firaga. Is that his response to being scanned, or was that a normal move? I need to have a look, but... Hepta... Firaga. See, that kind of stuff doesn't scare me as much as it used to, because usually if he has a move like that, like if an enemy has a move like that, the reason they do is because you can do something to completely stop it. And in this case, through that scan, we did establish that it's not immune to silence. So it means that once again, whoops, Waka's going to have a role to play. Honestly, might be an idea to start this fight with Waka and Riku up front, just to really get their stuff going here. So I'm gonna put this on. This is gonna be nice to have, and then yeah, we'll just stick with something like that for now. I'm gonna re-trigger the autosave here. There's definitely going to be a few kind of ins and outs here. I forgot how far back. Like, it starts you off before the sequence. I didn't know if it's when you kind of return. I didn't check the bottom right of the screen. I don't want to use cutscene remover, just like there's too many potentials for it to like mess with the soundtrack and that kind of thing. I'm just going to ride this out. Yeah, 600k definitely starting to bump up now. But still basically half of what it is in vanilla. But I kind of like that. Yeah, so no autosave there. Let's go. So we begin with the full break, and then we're going to use the silence. Yikes. Even with... So that was the counter. And then I think we're going to trust in the fact that this is going to work. We might only have one character left afterwards, but still. Yeah, that counter is mad powerful. So even, yeah, when broken like that, that's rough. Fine. Okay, so that approach did not work. We established that. The break does work, but even with the breaks, that's a lot. So we have to be ready to basically sacrifice a character like every time someone dies like that. Every time you try and do something like that. I have a feeling that there's going to be something that doesn't counter. I'm doubtful that it's like you have to like survive a counter every single time you damage it, but maybe. And in that case, then we'd have to take our time and really work on buffs. Right, here we go. Round 3. So Auron can survive the counter, so... And well, poison actually worked there, which was kind of nice. Now, let's see... Kind of forgot that I had my speed ups on. Let's calm down for a second. Literally just to get a bit of a foothold here. Gonna do this. Get everyone back. And then I'm gonna start to see how we do here. I need to know if Sentinel's gonna protect us from the meteor strikes. I have a feeling it will. 18,000 on a poison, holy crap. Okay, that's good. Yeah, the delay is massive. Unfortunately, if we could have got him into Sentinel first, then I think it would have been perfect. So I do think this is going to be a really kind of a good Sentinel fight. Let's do this. Because the Hepta's coming next. So he can survive the counter now. Let's get that Silence Buster on. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, some nasty statuses coming along with it though. Yeah, so whoever gets hit with Meteor Strike gets absolutely destroyed. To the extent that I think you have to establish your Sentinel like immediately, otherwise you're kind of screwed. So this attempt's gonna fall by the wayside, I think, because I haven't been able to protect Meteor Strike. Well, someone's definitely gonna die here, so I need to... Yes, I think Auron kind of needs to tank all of these. But the problem is that he probably doesn't have, like, he'd need some kind of like auto potion or something to properly tank all of them. I think that's a bit of a big ask. So for now, I think just to stay in the fight, I need to get to fire up at least to kind of see what's going to happen with that. It gives me a chance to just stack a little more cheer on, at least. Yeah, okay. So this is where you're going to get screwed because now it's going to get all the turns. Ah, what happened to the delay? Okay. Taking the chance again. shouldn't have taken that chance. Okay. Bring him back. I don't know when the next, like, Hepta is gonna come. I kind of stopped tracking, it just kept using Meteor Strike over and over. I don't know if the Hepta's in response to being slowed or something. Maybe that's the thing. I'm just going to wait and see when it happens again. Yeah, the problem is because it literally counters like everything. It's trouble. Yeah, without some kind of like sense preserver, that's not going to work very well, but I might have a chance of getting Auron into Sentinel here, which would be pretty huge. No sign of Hepta Firaga at the moment either. Does he have Protect? I don't want him to die from the counter. Okay. I'm going to put Zombie Attack on while I can. If he replies with Hepta Firaga, then I know it might be a response to being slowed. Fire up. Okay. Ooh. Interesting. That's why it lets him take such massive damage from stuff like poison. So let's Sentinel here for a second, because we're not going to get another chance here. Nice. Look at those turns, though. That's funny. Yeah, I think at this stage I'm just going to give Kimari a sensor weapon, so I can see what the hell I'm doing. It's not like he's got anything else. Was it him who had Dispel at this stage? No. Still think it's only Yuna, basically. So this will probably be the last action we take here, because this is going to be problematic. Well, I guess technically we could slow him, right? Yeah, so basically my logic is trying to keep trying to keep the break on and only trying to recover certain certain things here. So like, for example, is it going to counter a remedy? We should kind of find this out. This attempt's basically gone anyway. Let's just find out. Yeah, Hepta Firaga is some kind of counter to something. I'm not exactly sure what, because we healed it right now, so I don't know why it countered, but it looks like a counter to me. So it countered when I used a remedy on it. Okay. Interesting fight indeed. This is already a pretty big step up from Valifor. I think Valifor you could probably beaten, even at like Geoscano. Like basically you could have come to Dark Valifor first, I feel, almost. And you would have had a chance to win. Now, I think Riku losing her senses is not good here. Let's have a look at, I think, the armor that she has right now. Let's just beef it up a little. Since we can do this in exchange for Gil, I think it's not the worst one to have. So we'll do that. What else? Honestly, the rest of the stuff I'm not too concerned with at the moment. I don't even know if Slow Strike works against him. Maybe it's not like all the time, but it can work. And let's test evade and counter here as well. I'm going to keep basically everyone on Comrade here, other than Lulu. And we're also going to customize Sensor for Kumari. We need to buy a map. Okay, fine. So what we're going to do is take a minute here, just regroup. I'm going to buy some maps to customize Sensor. I'm going to just like replenish a few things, and then I'll be back. So I think you buy maps from the Calmlands, that's what Karifean said. But let me double check. Don't think Rin has them. Now, I'm going to boost these numbers up a bit. Yeah, we're not selling any items here. But I need to buy some maps. I could just use the hack to kind of have permanent sensor, but I'm trying to at least play that side of it a little more legit. Yeah, I don't know how many I need. I'm just gonna buy 2. Let's see if that's enough. Yeah, you only need 1. Okay. Sure, that'll do. Alright, getting the Sense Preserver back on there now. Let's see. Yeah, the counterattacks are still going to be good for him, I think. Alrighty, here we are, and back for more. So immediately I kind of want to experiment with whether or not slow even works here. So if you look at the CTB, I'm not sure it's been slowed. I think slow strike's not working here. Yeah, need to actually equip it. Yeah, let's just restart. Okay. I'm just gonna scan it anyway. Like, can you see if it has slow on it or not? Silence scans, yeah, okay. So you need to, like, slow strike seems to have a chance of working, but you need to, like, properly do that. Okay. Fine. So my whole little theory about, like, yeah, Karifean gives you slow strike, and then you go and move on to Ifrit next, and that's going to be great because blah, blah, blah. I think it has too much resistance to slow, like, you need to cast a spell for it to work. You can't rely on the slow strike doing it for you, it seems, at least. So, knowing all of this, what I want to do now, I want to try and do it slightly differently. I want to... I'm going to swap in Auron and basically kind of Sentinel immediately. think that's my general idea. And, well, I guess Kimari having sensor at this stage doesn't matter as much as I thought it did, because it gives you the sensor text, but it doesn't give you the actual, like, how much HP an enemy has, the weakness and all that stuff. You still have to cast it. So that's a little bit annoying, honestly. Like, you have to waste a turn every fight. I'm going to start with this. Now this time I'm going to immediately swap Auron in, and I'm going to Sentinel from the get-go. Yeah, unfortunately he can't absorb the Meteor Strike, so that's already a big problem. That is a big problem. Okay. It looks like Meteor Strike basically does like fixed damage. Yeah. It might even be percentage based. It's doing less to Riku. That's interesting. So let's get the full break in. Can you protect the counter? Yes, you can. Okay, that's more like it. Okay. And what we're gonna do while we're here, let's get that slow on. Because Auron can deal with the counter. So that's what he counters to. That's what he counters. I see. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now, interestingly, it does 3,000 to Auron, but did 2,600 to Riku. Not sure about that. So I basically need to make sure that I have get that Silence Buster on before trying to put slow on it. I think slow is pretty crucial though. I need to make it work. Alright, here we are again. Let's go in for another round here. So I think also what I'm starting to understand is that I think having the brakes doesn't affect Meteor Strike. That's how it's looking to me. Yeah, it seems to do fixed damage basically, either way. So let's get a full break on. And it's this stage that we need to be really careful here. Yeah. Auron's not going to be able to survive very long if he gets hit with a whole bunch of that stuff. So, let's start trying to get some cheer on. I think an Albed potion should be enough to kind of cover the situation here. Yeah, it's just a ton of damage. And he's certainly not recovering 3,000 every time. And while cheer isn't reducing the damage either. But I'm still going to try and get 5 of them on there. As long as he's got over 3,000, he'll be able to protect himself, so it'll be okay. So we're trying to buy ourselves a bit of time here. I will slow it soon. Alright, here's what we're going to do. So Auron's still in Sentinel. His animation doesn't look like it, but he should still be in Sentinel, right? Silence Buster. He's been like knocked out of Sentinel? How does that work? Eh? Why is he not Sentineling anymore? I've never seen that before. So that's what he means. I thought maybe like it afflicts breaks. But I think what he's saying is that it stops you from being able to use Sentinel. Shit, of course that one I didn't bloody take a photo of the scan text. That's really interesting. Okay. Yeah, we got to be like extra careful here. At least we can safely put that on. It cost us a death, but... And now the delay from that's going to be too strong. He's not going to get a turn. Ah, he is. Okay, good. Let's toss a Mega Phoenix here. So I'm starting to understand it a little better. But I did not note that down. So the claw attack basically protects you from Sentinel. Sorry, like you're allowed to use Sentinel one time, and then afterwards you're kind of screwed. So let's just trying to think, is there a way to reduce the damage from Meteor Strike? I'm going to fire off an X potion just to make sure I stay alive here. Because, I mean, the Meteor Strike attack is obviously very beefy, but it's not enough to kill us, really. As long as we're at max HP. So, that's kind of an important note. Now we kind of have to figure out how to deal with this damage. So I'm gonna haste up Lulu here. Well, haste up everybody, for that matter. Okay. Right, let me just try something out here. Can we get one more turn in? No, we can't. But I'm going to get Auron ready just to do some Sentinel work for the next round. Basically, I want to try and get 2 demis. While Auron's Sentineling up. Now, I don't know if he responds to magic immediately with Hepta, but this will be a way to find out. So let's get this in. And this is going to break Auron's stance and basically stop him from being able to Sentinel after this one. So it's like a one-time deal. And then you have to reset him. Okay, so this is an immediate counter. I needed to learn that, but now I think this is like the attempt that helped me to put pieces together now. Well survived, to be fair. I guess it also means that if you could probably run some kind of like fire. If you've got good fire protection, you can probably run some kind of strat using that, honestly. Okay, so here's fire up. And now what we're going to do... Obviously, in an ideal world, if slow was to work here, then that'd be great, but it doesn't. So I think it also counters... It countered the remedy with Hepta Firaga, right? So I think no matter what we do, we kind of have to Sinus Buster here first. Sacrifice the character. They're going to die. Ah, it didn't counter. That's curious. Okay. Interesting situations here. Let's throw a remedy on. Not a remedy. Well... Yeah, problem with throwing a remedy on is that it will definitely attack with Hector. That's tough. I mean, do we somehow... try to keep it berserked? Is that an idea? Fine. Now, while it's still silenced, I'm just going to literally do this. Although it does have a full overdrive. So I think what I'll do, I'm gonna try an auto life here. Yeah, we will get a turn just in time. So while it's berserked, it can't use Hellfire. That's kind of an interesting detail here. So maybe we're just going to have to live with the fact that this guy's just going to remain berserked. Yeah, this is not how I was expecting this to go. We're going to have to burn through some Phoenix Downs here, but honestly, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. So I think we keep Riku off the front line so that she can come in and revive people fast. And I think there's just, maybe we don't play the game of trying to tank anything here. We just kind of let it go. So back to Silence Buster. Get her out of there. And we keep going. This is really interesting, like a different approach here. I'm always of the like, I try my best to really buff and not die in these, but maybe we just let it go. So Riku swaps in again. Speedy. Maybe I keep her in to get the full overdrive and then maybe a Hyper Mighty G. Something like that. I would like to nail like one double cast Demi and then another one with Riku. That would be really nice. I think to that end, I am going to use an Ether. And just haste her again. I mean, if we can keep the fight here, it basically doesn't get to use Fire Up, and it also doesn't get to use its overdrive. So weirdly, I think it puts us in a great position. The magic counter can be disabled, so it won't counter that, and then we just copy it. And Berserker Claw, I think if we get a few cheers in, and we get a Hyper Mighty G, we might actually be able to defend it. Which could also be interesting. Oh, now. This fight ended up being very different to what I expected. Your gut instinct is always like, I gotta cure the Berserk, like I have to make sure I deal with that. But why? Alright, so this time, I think I'm going to do the same. I'm going to speed up again. It's fine. Do that. And then this time I'm going to do some kind of Mighty G or something. Or, well, do I really need to? If I can just protect. She needed a couple of turns just so that I could get some cheers on. That's why like the Mighty G might just be the easiest way to deal with it, but for now let's move on to, let's do one Demi and one Blizzarga, see how we get along. Definitely getting close now. But this is why I didn't want to have Riku in the front line, if I could help it. Here, we need to go back to Silence Buster. Okay. Yeah, not ideal here, but... yeah, Riku just keeps getting picked on here. But I think the poison damage is gonna do it again here, honestly. Just wonder if it's worth a Fury. Probably not. So far, at least, it's not really been worth much of a Fury. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to die from from poison damage. Let's just Blizzard Fury. Screw it. At least we got 6 this time. Okay, it worked. Yeah, same thing happened as last time, but hey, we'll take it. Fascinating fight, that was really interesting. Letting it stay in Berserk, who would have guessed it? Yeah, I think it was basically realizing that tossing the remedy to get rid of Berserk would also get rid of the silence, and I'd automatically get hit with the Hepta. So I was like, well, I can't toss the remedy, I have to kind of keep him in Berserk for now, what am I supposed to do? And then I kind of realized. Really interesting. What?
Let's go.
Alright, that's another one in the books. Now, what did Auron get? And Kimari only got 2 sphere levels? I don't know if that's right. I mean, he survived the fight, so I don't know. Fire Eater. It's interesting. Again, you kind of have to wonder... I have to assume like the armor's probably like... break damage limit again. Yeah. I mean, to be fair... But I guess because Valifor was a non-elemental guy, I'm assuming that the Ifrit version is just going to be break damage limit and fire strike, which I'm not super interested in. I guess for Shiva it would be nice, but I think we'll just live with that. Okay, so I'm going to have another look at the sphere grid. At the end of this session, I'll ask if it was normal for Kumari to... Like, I wasn't paying attention to the screen. I didn't see, like, that he got 2 sphere levels until the end. I don't know if he got the same amount of points as everybody else. I wasn't tracking that. So, let's put in a new save. There's going to be a lot of different saves here just in case I need to bounce between them. And that's why I've ended up with probably like 500 saves at this point. Let's take another look. No. I kind of forgot about this. I'm just going to do this. Whatever. It's a lot of magic. 75. And we're going to cash this in. Strength gains. And some HP, we'll take that. Yeah, I think we'll keep moving with Riku. Yeah, the extra MP is going to be nice. And an auto life. I was looking for an auto life in a previous attempt, so I think that's nice. I think for now we'll keep it moving. 4 more strength points. My power spheres are starting to run out though. 3 agility points, 4 strength. Wow. The strengths do come in 4s, so it's pretty good. Some good HP gains here for Yuna. And for Waka, I think we'll just keep moving. But we really are starting to run out of power spheres here. We're going to have to start using power distillers on these bosses. That would be nuts. At least he still makes it to Dispel. We've been looking for another Dispel user. Okay. So I think that's that, and we can start moving straight on to Dark Ixion. So these fights have been good so far, definitely challenging, needed a few kind of restarts to really start to build up an idea of what to do. But I've been enjoying them so far. Okay, my friends, I'm wrapping it up for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you are continuing to enjoy the series. Please remember to hit the like button if you haven't already. I will see you for the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care.